dive into the world where politics meets epic anime battles? Brace yourself as we explore the top 10 reasons why the 2024 RNC event was low energy, and how it's eerily similar to Goku needing to power up and transform into a Super Saiyan to defeat Frieza in Dragon Ball Z. I'm your host Mitsuri, and in today's video, we'll break down how the Republican Party, much like Goku, needs to find that inner strength and transform if they want to overcome the Democrats in the upcoming election. Strap in, because this is going to be an intense ride where we uncover why the GOP needs to reach its full potential to win. Number 10. Uninspired speakers. The 2024 RNC event missed the mark by featuring immigrants and black speakers instead of traditional conservative voices. This diluted the core message, much like Goku holding back his power before transforming into a Super Saiyan in Dragon Ball Z. The result was an event that felt low energy, failing to ignite the passion of the base. Nick Fuentes, through Groiper War 2, argues that the RNC needs to return to its roots and fully embrace its America First principles. Just as Goku had to unleash his true power to defeat Frieza, the RNC must stop trying to appeal to everyone and focus on energizing its core supporters with a bold message. Number 9. Low energy atmosphere. The RNC event was clearly low energy, with muted applause and a disengaged crowd, reflecting the audience's disappointment with the moderate stance of the speakers. It was like Goku in Dragon Ball Z using only Kaioken against Frieza, holding back and not reaching his full potential. Nick Fuentes is right in pushing for a more energized and unapologetically right-wing RNC, just as Vegeta knew Goku could become even stronger. The DNC gets this, which is why they had Obama during the event, which Nick commented on in this clip here.
Obama had no fucking business in the White House. He was the president of the Harvard Law Review without publishing a single law review. Guy's not even smart. We haven't even seen his scores on his tests. Didn't even live in America for a lot of his childhood. Guy was a senator for one term, freshman senator, then becomes president because he gave a good speech and it was time for a black president. And he was a joke. And they want to go and talk about, oh, well, we didn't have the affirmative action of generational wealth. And all the black people love that. Two idiots who have never built anything, never made anything. In the most corrupt state, from the most corrupt city in the country, and the beneficiaries of DEI and affirmative action, failed upwards, literally became fucking president because it was time. It was time for a black one. And then they're the first ones to come up and say, oh, well, we didn't have it easy because of racism and white people have it easy. Shut up. I'm so sick of that attitude we get.
Number 8. High energy DNC. In stark contrast, the DNC event was full of energy, with enthusiastic cheers and a crowd that was fully engaged. The Democrats gave their audience exactly what they wanted, much like how the DNC's lineup of speakers, including trans individuals and other progressive figures, played directly to their base's desires. This difference in energy levels highlights why the RNC needs to step up its game. The DNC's high-energy approach is what keeps their base fired up, and the RNC must match this by embracing a more dynamic and exciting platform, just like Goku eventually had to power up to Super Saiyan to meet the challenge. Nick gets the importance of demanding Republicans are better, just like he expressed in this clip here.
If you're only thinking about this November, you're trapped. You are trapped in this vicious and endless 2-year cycle where it's like, we can never get what we want and we'll never pander to us because we got an election to win. There's an election every 2 years. So, we need to have long-term goals. We need to have long-term strategies. And, you can't have your whole vision interrupted by people shocking you. So what? What's going to happen in November? Democrats? What about November? What about November? So what? The Democrats are... Because isn't that always the rebuttal?
Number 7. DNC appeals to its base. The DNC knew exactly how to energize its base by featuring speakers who resonated with their audience, like trans individuals and other progressive figures. It's like in Dragon Ball Z when Goku realizes he needs to tap into something greater to face Frieza. The DNC gave their supporters what they wanted, keeping the energy high and the crowd engaged. This is where the RNC is falling short. The Republican Party needs to learn from this and start giving their base what they really want, a strong, unapologetic right-wing message. And remember, the DNC fears Nick, which is why Chuck Schumer mentioned him during the event as seen in this clip here.
This is a guy who peddles anti-Semitic stereotypes. He even invited a white supremacist to Mar-a-Lago.
That's me!
And unfortunately, his prejudice goes in all directions.
That's crazy.
He fuels Islamophobia.
Number 6. Trump as Goku. Trump in 2024 is like Goku in Dragon Ball Z before he fully powered up against Frieza. Both represent the good side, but are not giving it their all. Goku was only using Kaioken, which wasn't enough, just like Trump has been holding back. Taking a more moderate stance instead of going all in on the right-wing issues that won him the presidency in 2016. Nick Fuentes sees this and knows that Trump has the potential to go Super Saiyan and dominate the political landscape again. The problem is that just like Goku had to push beyond his limits, Trump needs to ditch the moderation and fully embrace the America First agenda to energize his base and win the election. Number 5. Nick Fuentes' insight. Nick Fuentes is right in thinking that the RNC event was low energy, just like Vegeta knew Goku could become even stronger to defeat Frieza in Dragon Ball Z. Nick understands that the current RNC strategy isn't enough to win, and he's pushing for a transformation that will energize the base. Nick's call for a more aggressive and right-wing approach through Groyper War 2 is exactly what the RNC needs to wake up and realize its potential. Ultimately, the DNC people are a bunch of freaks and defeating them is very important, as Nick expressed in this clip here.
Our big takeaway from the night, first of all, just a brutal watch. Absolutely brutal watch tonight. Miserable, painful, grating experience. I didn't like anybody up there. The audience are all freaks. Okay, thanks. I hate it.
Number 4. Hoping for a Super Saiyan transformation. Just as we hoped Goku would go Super Saiyan to defeat Frieza, we hope the Republican Party can transform and defeat the Democrats in 2024. But the real dream is to see the next level, like when Gohan went Super Saiyan 2 to defeat Cell. In political terms, that would be Nick Fuentes becoming president in future elections, taking the fight against the global elite to the next level. Nick's vision goes beyond just the 2024 election. He's looking at the long game, where the ultimate victory isn't just about defeating the Democrats, Frieza, but about taking on the bigger challenge of the global elite, Cell. Nick's leadership could be the Super Saiyan 2 transformation the America First movement needs. Number 3. Recognizing true power. The Republican Party, much like Goku in Dragon Ball Z, needs to recognize its true power and stop holding back. Just as Goku had to dig deep to unleash his Super Saiyan transformation, the RNC must embrace its strongest principles and stop trying to moderate its message. Nick Fuentes' Groyper War 2 is all about pushing the RNC to stop playing it safe and start using the full force of its America First base. By doing this, the party can energize its supporters and stand a real chance of winning against the Democrats, who are currently riding high on their progressive platform. Number 2. The 2024 election as the Namek Saga. The 2024 election is like the Namek Saga in Dragon Ball Z. Just as Frieza enslaved Namek and its people, the Democrats, led by figures like Kamala Harris, are seen as a threat to the freedoms of white Americans. If the RNC doesn't step up and go Super Saiyan, the consequences could be dire. Nick Fuentes is sounding the alarm, much like the heroes on Namek did. He knows that if the Republicans don't embrace a stronger, more energized approach, the Democrats could seize power and impose their will, leading to a situation as dire as Frieza's rule over Namek. Number 1. Super Saiyan comes from Jesus Christ. In Dragon Ball Z, the Super Saiyan transformation is a legendary power-up, and Nick Fuentes argues that the RNC's transformation into a more right-wing energized force would be proof of Trump connecting with the ethereal powers of God. According to Nick, just as Super Saiyan comes from Jesus Christ, the Republican Party's shift towards stronger Christian values would lead to victory. Nick's Groyper War II is all about pushing Trump and the Republicans to tap into this divine strength, to fully embrace Christian values and the America First agenda. If they do, Nick believes they'll be unstoppable. Much like Goku was once he unlocked his true potential as a Super Saiyan. And that's a wrap on our breakdown of the 2024 RNC event and why it needs to power up, just like Goku did when he transformed into a Super Saiyan to finally defeat Frieza. The Republican Party is facing a challenge just as daunting, and they won't win unless they fully embrace their potential and go all out. Stay tuned for more videos as we continue to explore how Nick Fuentes' Groyper War II is pushing the GOP to find that inner strength and make the transformation they need to succeed. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, keep aiming for that Super Saiyan level.